Hello and welcome everyone to the 63rd episode of the Comic Multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. And Matt, this isn't a regular episode, is it?
No, the worlds of nerd did meet.
They sure did at a big festival trade show convention with no elbow room. Matt and I didn't go, but we did the next best thing, which is we sat at home on the internet and heard all about it.
Yeah.
Which really, in many ways, is that not the best way to go every year?
It is. You don't have to get dressed. You can just sit at your computer and you get all the same stuff, or most of the same stuff.
I mean, we know plenty of people who did. Comic Uno goes like just about every year in season, does amazing shit, and I'm just like, good for her.
Yeah, Hybrid went as well. He did some pretty good coverage.
He did. Good for Hybrid. Good for moving up in the world. We like those guys.
Yeah.
So, with that, everyone, we do have a heaping helping of comic book news this week. I tried my hardest to split this into the comic book side, which will comprise the first half of the show, then the movie and TV stuff, which will comprise the second half of the show. Maybe we'll have time to cover what we read this week, but honestly, we have so much material to work through, we might not.
Yeah, there's a fair bit.
Yeah, you can't say we shortchanged you or gypped you this week, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Those couple weeks there where we're like, where's all the news? What are we going to talk about? This is where it was.
Yeah, this is where it comes from.
This is where it all was. And I gotta say, just in terms of sheer volume, this was a pretty goddamn big San Diego Comic-Con, wasn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. The amount of news that was coming out almost every hour, basically.
Like I was trying to contrast and compare it to last year. I think this year blows last year out of the water.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like, if I remember, were we not a little disappointed last year around this time where it's like, well, it's okay, we guess?
Yeah, I can't really actually remember what was going on last year at San Diego Comic-Con all that much.
I think we got our first poster of Justice League was the big thing.
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
I would definitely say if I was to grade this show would be a solid A.
Oh, definitely.
The only way it could be an A+ is if the show and the celebrities literally came to my house and gave me a donut. that would be a solid A+. What would it take for you to give it an A+, Matt?
Ooh, probably about the same thing. Maybe if they came and they actually brought me some of the more San Diego Comic-Con exclusive stuff.
I would say make Star Wars real, but D23 already made Star Wars real last episode.
Yeah, they're like, you can come to Westworld, but Star Wars.
It's kind of hard to top that, right? Star Wars being real. But yes, with that out of the way, everyone, I figured let's dive right on into this, because we could very definitely hit 2 hours this week if we don't start right now.
Oh, yes, we could.
So, the first big piece of news here, despite not being in any of the solicitations for Marvel Legacy, Marvel Generations, Steve Rogers' Captain America is coming back, and he is getting a new book.
Yeah, and it's by Mark Waid.
And Chris Samee will be the artist. They're reteaming the Dream Team duo from their Black Widow book and their run on Daredevil before this.
And if anything, it's going to look amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a good-looking book. Mark Waid is a Marvel workhorse. I can see why they would put him on a project like this. As much as I loved the Nick Spencer and Secret Empire, cycle for Cap stories, you needed a pretty trusted, pretty beloved heavy hitter to more or less put the toys back in the toy box.
Yeah, and Mark Waid's, the guy you go to.
He is a good return to status quo guy. And speaking of returns to status quo, from the little covers we've seen and from the little information that we've gleaned from it, Steve is back to wearing the classic costume.
Yes, he is.
Which is kind of a shame, because I quite enjoyed the Captain Hydra Secret Empire costume. Then again, much like Hugo Boss clothing, it gets a little ruined by the fact that a Nazi wore it.
Yeah, you're like, hey, remember that time when Cap dressed like this and he was like a Nazi?
I mean, say what you want about evil totalitarian fascists, but they have style. Their uniforms are always the slickest. I mean, just look at the Empire.
Well, in Secret Empire, before Secret Empire ends, he does transition over to a Hydra costume, so maybe that's their way of saying no, this is definitely Hydra, so when they come back to this, they're like, this is classic Cap now.
Yeah. It's like New Coke. It's like you missed it, didn't you? The marching order for this series and what they seem to be focusing on, at least for the first arc, is Cap traveling around America and making amends. He's on one giant apology tour.
Yeah, it's the Superman grounded for Captain America.
That's literally what I thought, and shit, I mean, the only thing Superman did was renounce his American citizenship. Captain America literally took over America. I think he's gonna have more to apologize for. Sorry. I just imagine the Inhumans sitting there with like a bunch of boards with nails in it and chains where it's like, oh, you better have a good apology for us. He's like, look, I promise I am willing to submit to a tarring and feathering. How does that sound? Like just Cap making reparations to all the people he's wronged? Look, okay, other heroes, I am okay with a booting. Just one little booting publicly in front of everyone. You can all take turns kicking me in the ass. How does that sound? Also, shit, I mean, I guess this kind of spoils the ending of the story in a way. I guess that means Miles doesn't kill Captain America.
Well, we don't know whether this is actual Captain America or like that Dreamtime Captain America or Ultimate Captain America.
Which, that's a thing now because they seem to be implying more and more that the Ultimate Universe is coming back in one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, like, not unlikely. Shit, could be Bucky again for all we know.
Yeah.
I still keep thinking Bucky's not dead, but they're like, no, they lashed Bucky to a rocket and it blew up, and I'm like, yeah, they thought that killed him the first time.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead.
No, I think he's going to be the 11th hour coming and save everyone at Secret Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly Spencer...
Whoa, what if he's that old man?
Oh, shit. Yeah, like the thing where it's like, yeah, that rocket, it just messed up all the injections and shit in him and made him old for some reason, but Cap couldn't bring himself to kill his little buddy Bucky, so he just kept him around.
Yeah, or he never actually got them, so he was just a kid during World War II, and he never got killed by Cap, and he just aged.
Yeah, there's all sorts of directions they could go with that. Yeah, the old man is now the big mystery of Secret Empire, isn't it? Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck that guy is. That last issue was pretty sick, wasn't it, Matt?
It was pretty sick.
My favorite bit was a Hulk Bruce Banner just telling Cap off for being a crazy person.
He's like, you're a Nazi now?
Yeah, whoa, how long was I dead for? I love that where it's just like there's so much shit and it's like, look, Bruce, we don't have time to get you up to speed on everything. All you need to know is I want you to Hulk out and kill all your friends. Cool? No, not cool.
But they killed you. Oh, okay, I'll do it.
He mentions everything. It's like, look, they killed you, they fired you, they blasted you off into space. Why would you defend them? And Bruce is like, because they're my friends. That's why. And I know even though they've screwed me over, at the end of the day, they had my best interest in mind, only for Cap to be like, okay, Bruce, I wasn't really talking to you, though. I was talking to the Hulk. And Hulk hate Banner most of all. But yeah, that was some good shit. Yeah, I'm interested for this Mark Waid story. My big thing moving forward, though, as I said about all Captain America runs, it might be good, but will it be must-read?
Yeah.
Because whether you love or hate Captain America, he is very easy to ignore for a good bulk of his runs. Like, I mean, outside, like the Golden Age stuff with Grunwald, the obvious Ed Brubaker stuff where it became a spy epic, and right now with Nick Spencer's, like, all roads lead back to Cap, lead back to Secret Empire, that's maybe only 3 Captain America runs I can think of where it's like, yep, that was a must-read.
Yeah, that's about it.
I mean, like, he's consistently had books, but it's like you never hear, like, oh, but you gotta read this one, though.
Yeah, there's not a lot of him on, like, required readings for getting into Marvel or something.
It's true, because, even though he's important, shit rarely ever, like, revolves around him. Superman has been like that for long periods of time, too, and I think the run we're in now currently with Superman is a must-read because all roads do come back to Superman, and he is a major player again.
Definitely.
Which is good. So, hey, big ups for this book. Can't wait to see what they do with it. I like Waid. I like Samee. Waid's interesting, too, because he has written a lot of Captain America in other stuff. And I think he had the reins of a Cap book, like, right after Heroes Reborn, but he never had a full, complete run on Captain America.
Yeah, no, I do remember him actually touching the character a couple of times, but yeah, I don't think he's actually been in charge of an actual book.
Yeah. It'll be funny, too, because, obviously, totally diluted people who don't know what they're talking about often say, oh, why do these Captain America books have to be so political? Because he's a man wearing a flag who represents America literally and figuratively. That's why. We know Nick Spencer was a very political writer, and that was the angle that he took with Cap. Waid has not shied away from telling political stories either, but he's also like, a guy who is about the idea of the superhero, and the superhero as a symbol, which is very clear in his work. I wonder what way he's going to take it. I imagine he's going to go more like, the symbol of a superhero thing, only so you don't have two political runs back to back.
Yeah, well, I think, he's got to definitely change it up from Secret Empire, which is very political, so they'll probably go back to the more classic superhero Cap.
But knowing Waid too, Waid's a tricksy hobbit and he's been in the business long enough. Don't be shocked if he puts a little political stuff in there.
Oh yeah, it might be kind of like how he does like Champions at the moment, how it's superhero but still political.
That too, which I wonder too if he's just like, nah, I get all that out in Champions. I don't need to do it here with Cap.
Yeah, true. It could be like that.
But hey, that could also mean we could get some really cool Champions Captain America crossover at some point.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'd like that a lot. Especially because the Champions, well, they have a lot of different, analogs for older superheroes. They kind of have the legacy roles filled. They don't have a Captain America role on their team, do they?
Not really, no.
The closest thing they have is really Kamala Khan, who, kind of embodies the immigrant spirit, the second-generation American thing. But then again, she's also draped in the garb of Carol Danvers, so,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm interested in that one. Now, keeping on the comic train, but moving away to the realm of Star Wars, Grand Admiral Thrawn will be getting his own comic miniseries based on the Zahn Books.
Yes, it is based on the new Zahn book that was written recently for the new canon. But yeah, he's going to be doing that. I can't remember. It's a woman who's going to be writing it.
Jodie Hauser, who wrote the novelization of The Force Awakens.
Yeah. She's going to be doing that, and I don't think they've announced an artist yet.
No, I don't think they have. This was very fresh.
No. Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting, especially because they said they're going to add and change stuff that they couldn't put in the book.
Right. Now, is this going to be an origin story for Thrawn, or is this just a day in the life of Thrawn?
It's kind of both, in a way. It's kind of... It sort of detail... I've read the book. It kind of details his early standings with the Republic and the Empire and everything, and what was his deal and everything.
Nice. That's what I want to read.
Yeah, it was a really cool book, and I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to be doing with the comic.
It's kind of an interesting time for Thrawn right now, because obviously Rebels will be coming back very soon, and I can only assume Thrawn isn't going to make it out of that last season of Rebels, because he's never talked about any other time in the Star Wars canon in the future, so I'm going to assume the Battle of Lothal will be like his Waterloo, if I'm to make a Napoleon reference.
Well, the thing is, he could still be around after that, because in the old canon, they sent him off into the unknown regions.
Oh.
So, outside of, where Star Wars takes place, so... They could easily do that here, and they kind of go about that in the Thrawn book as well. They kind of mention that and everything.
So maybe he screws the pooch so badly in the Battle of Lothal, they're like, look, Thrawn, fuck off, go to the uncharted parts of space.
Maybe, yeah.
I could see that being a thing, you were beaten by rebels, you were beaten by scruffy nerf herders, you blue bastard.
Yeah.
I doubt they would say it like that. It's still a Disney XD show, unless they really wanted to go hardcore for that final season and start swearing. I'd love it. Just out of nowhere, they're like, no, for artistic integrity, they all need to swear at him. A lot. Just a cartoonish George Carlin amount of swearing. But yeah, I'm interested for that. As we've mentioned before, they've been batting 100 on these Star Wars books, and what better than to base one on Thrawn?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Super interesting character. Now, from the world of Marvel properties to the world of DC properties, we got a big cool-ass poster for the DC Dark Matter universe, which is the special new imprint that will be spinning out of Dark Days The Forge and Dark Days Metal once all that's done.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. We saw like the poster they had at San Diego Comic-Con, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, a bunch of new original heroes you've never seen before, and also some updated versions of what could possibly be the Blackhawks. But what is most interesting is they mention like the flagship title, or at least the one they're really interested in, and that is a new book called The Terrifics, written by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is Jeff Lemire in the panel said that he wants this to be DC's Fantastic Four.
Oh, it's pretty clear that's what they want, because the membership is made up of Plastic Man, aka a stretchy dude, Mr. Terrific, a Omega-level genius, Phantom Girl, a woman who can turn invisible, and Metamorpho, a big, ugly, craggy guy with a heart of gold. Wow, this is DC kicking Marvel while they're down. Oh, what's that, Marvel fans? You want the Fantastic Four? Oh, what's that? You can't have it because friggin' Fox is fucking with them? Well, guess what? Come over here and we'll give you a Fantastic Four book. Although we don't trust it enough to keep it in the main universe, we'll still give it to you. That's so amazing. And again, it's like, this feels like a really good fit, because these are characters where it's like, yeah, I like Metamorpho, I like Plastic Man and Phantom Girl and everything, but they never really fit in the main DC universe, because there was always people who essentially did what they did, but better.
Mm-hmm.
And they always kind of felt like, well, we're filling out a team, who do we put on? Put some of these guys on a team. So yeah, putting them on a team on their own, and putting Lemire at the helm, hell yeah, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, definitely.
This also pretty much lets us know that, yes, Lemire is done with Marvel right now. Old Man Logan finished up. He's finishing up Thanos, and Donny Cates, the God Country guy, is going to be taking over.
Yeah, so he's coming back over to DC. I wonder if he's going to be exclusive.
He might very well. There's a lot of exclusivity contracts going around, but yeah, good on him for coming back into the fold. Hey, Lemire, now that you're back at DC and stuff, not that I don't love what Benjamin Percy is doing and everything right now, but can we maybe get like a little Outsiders book? Maybe answer up some of those questions you left dangling in Green Arrow, just maybe.
Well, he could always actually do that in like his Terrific book as well, like have a crossover with them.
Oh, that would be cool. They run into the Outsiders that he set up, and they run into all this other shit. That would be nice. Ooh, let him and Percy write an annual together that tries to answer some of those questions.
Oh, yeah. Especially
now that Moira Queen is back alive, so apparently both of Green Arrow's parents, who claim to be dead, weren't actually dead. That's gotta fuck with your head. I mean, the whole universe in the poster that we saw, they look to have some cool shit there. We saw Silencer, which is the book James Tynion is going to write. We got some of that Champions of the Unknown, apparently, who are going to be a big part of it as well.
Yeah, they all look very interesting.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be like the indie, like the early indie equivalent thing, where it's like, look, it's still very much in the DC universe, but we're telling stories kind of outside, the pale of what you would normally expect, with a bunch of weirder characters, which hilariously I always thought was kind of the Vertigo model, but they have a Vertigo model, it's just called Young Animal. It's very weird.
Yeah, Young Animal as well is going to be crossing over with the DCU soon.
That's right, they are, which I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like this idea. You've set up this imprint, you've set up this universe and its rules, and now you can get some crossovers happening.
Yeah, they already kind of teased it as well, because I know there was a Cave Carson book where he teamed up with Superman.
That's right.
It was really cool as well.
That sends a pretty strong message. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of Young Animal, but now that I know, okay, they think it's successful enough to cross it over with the main brand, maybe I should give it another look. Speaking of imprints, too, did you hear they're finally getting Milestone off the ground again, turning it into a DC imprint after me bitching and moaning for what feels like years?
Really?
Yes, they are. Again, see, already I'm worrying about this because some people don't even know it's so flying under the radar. It was another announcement at San Diego Comic-Con, but no one fucking knows about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's Jim Lee is going to be spearheading the initiative, and Reginald Hunland, one of the original Milestone people, one of the dude under Dwayne McDuffie. Hudlin, of course, had a famous Black Panther run back in the day. Yeah, he's going to be one of like the overseers of this. Which makes sense because Hudlin's like the only guy who actually continued to do stuff and who has enough juice to kind of make this happen.
Yeah.
You know who really hates Reginald Hudlin?
Yeah.
Aaron Magruder, the dude who does Boondocks.
Really?
Oh, he fucking despises him. Did you remember in Boondocks where they had that whole arc involving BET and there was that character called Wedgie Hudland?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a thinly veiled fuck you to that Hudland is what that is. Also, too, if you'll remember in that same episode, what was Hudland trying to get made on BET? A really shitty stop-motion Black Panther show. Which is a real show BET really did. I don't know what Hudland did to offend Magruder so much. Maybe it's an artist beef is what it is. Maybe he just got mad that he turned it into a really bad cartoon.
Maybe.
I just thought that's so funny. So yeah, man, friggin' DC, a comic for everyone.
Yeah.
It's like what DCU probably should have been. Everyone gets a comic and a comic for everyone. But yeah, I'm totally interested in that. And while we're speaking about Dark Universe, they haven't said if this is going to be a Dark Universe spin-off, but I get the sneaking suspicion that it might be. Duke is getting a special issue. Batman The Signal.
Yeah, this is probably definitely a Dark Universe spin-off.
Right, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense now that we know how intrinsically tied Duke is to the Metal and the Dark Universe and all this other stuff they're setting up. Basically, the marching order they had for this is that Duke will be the Batman sidekick who fights by day.
Yeah, it sounds pretty interesting, but at the same time, I said this on Twitter, like...
You did.
There's nothing stopping the other Robins or Batmans fighting during the day, and they often have.
They often have. No, we need the cover of night and darkness, man. Only Duke can fight by day. Look how bright his costume is.
What if his powers only work during the day because he's like a light character, so he's powered by light?
That would be funny. He's a reverse vampire. He literally can only go out in the day.
That's alright, just team him up with the Ray. That's fine.
Oh yeah, their costumes are quite complimentary, actually.
Yeah.
I was trying really hard to make a Sailor Moon joke there, you know, Duke fighting evil by daylight, winning something. I got nothing. And Duke starts doing crazy Sentai transformations whenever he has to do it. Duke runs with toast in his mouth and is just always so clumsy. That's my pitch for the series. This is why I wasn't allowed to write Duke. They shot down this weird anime pitch I had. What? And he fights Queen Not Beryl from the Darkiverse? What? Well, you know, because the whole thing's called Dark. You know, it makes sense. Damn it! Who keeps letting him in with these horrible pitches? It's like he literally pitches the first thing that comes to his mind. Now, moving away from that back to Marvel for a second, but actually something kind of interesting. Iron Fists, a new comic series to kick off Marvel's digital-first imprint. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I heard about it, and I can only think, like, hey, they saw, like, what, you know, Bombshells and Injustice and everything is doing.
And even Valiant, too, with just, like, these digital exclusive things. Like, Marvel has had digital exclusive titles in the past, but they would always be like, oh, you know, wait for it and we'll put it out in print eventually. I, of course, never liked those Marvel Infinity books. I always thought they were a real pain in the ass to read.
They were really weird.
They were, where it's like, you know, you get a full story, but we only have to draw X amount of images. Mm-hmm. They were experimental, but not in the good way.
No.
They haven't named the writing team for this yet, but I can only imagine it's going to be Carrie Andrews, because Iron Fists is the continuation of his, like, Immortal Weapon or Unkillable Weapon, whatever the fuck that one is I hated.
Oh, okay.
It's his continuation of that. It's Danny Rand with his, you know, young toddler partner who is also an Iron Fist, and, like, their pet dragon, and he's going to be teaching them the ways of the Iron Fist. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean, some people really liked that run, and some people really wanted that run to see completed. I didn't care. It's also, I think Marvel didn't care, because it's like, remember when they were talking about a new Iron Fist series? It's like, yep, this is what the new series is going to be. But then the TV show happened, and they ditched all of it. It's like, okay, Ed Brisson, you write something that's vaguely like the TV show now.
Yeah, that series was kind of shit.
From what I hear, and yet it's still going.
Yeah, and yet the guy writes a really good Old Man Logan.
Yeah, from what I understand. I haven't quite read his new Old Man Logan yet, but I hear mixed things. He's Canadian, Ed Brisson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he also kind of seems to be their go-to guy for fucking everything now. It's like, oh no, James Robinson left Cable to go back to work for DC again. Who's gonna write Cable now? Ed Brisson. Jeff Lemire left Old Man Logan to go work for DC again. Who's gonna write Old Man Logan now? Ed Brisson. That dude must be at the top of everyone's Rolodex. It's gonna be not long before he's just writing everything at this point. Just hoping he gets many paychecks for these books. So yeah, that was Iron Fist. It's a cool idea. I know I have said many times before to both, praise and anger when I say that digital comics are the way of the future. This is just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah.
We love the stores, we love the store paradigm, but it is not a, tangible business model anymore. And if stuff like this is successful and proves to be successful, we'll be seeing more and more digital series, digital first, digital exclusives.
Yep, definitely.
And again, as we said before, DC's done it, Valiant has done it. It's just, we just need a couple more big hits to prove that, it really is feasible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Iron Fist will be that series, but it has every chance to.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from digital exclusives to sequel talk. Our old pal Grant Morrison was out in force at this year's Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And he announced 2 brand new sequels that he's got coming out. One is Wonder Woman Earth 1 #2, which of course makes sense. All those Earth 1 titles get sequels.
It's kind of given. You know what we didn't talk about last year? The Green Lantern Earth 1 book that came out.
That's right, we did, and that one totally skipped my mind for whatever reason.
Sounds pretty cool.
What's the pitch on? Is it anything different, or is it just the retelling of Green Lantern as we know it?
It is very different.
Is it?
It is very different. Yeah, Hal Jordan is an astronaut now.
Okay, yes, I saw that cover, yes, and thought that was interesting. So he's an astronaut, not a jet pilot.
Yeah, I'm just going to look it up just to make sure I'm giving you the right information.
Yeah, you do that, Matt. I will vamp and talk to the audience while you do that.
He's-
Hey, audience.
He's a astronaut and a scientist working for Ferris Galactic.
Oh. Now, the astronaut bit I buy, because it's basically like, yeah, if you're a really good pilot, you get to be an astronaut. But scientist Hal Jordan, I don't know. Hal Jordan is many things, but I never would call him smart or a scientist.
Maybe he's like self-proclaimed scientist.
He just lies to get women to, go home from the bar with him. I'm a scientist and an astronaut.
Yeah, the other major change is the Green Lantern Corps was actually completely destroyed by the Manhunters.
Oops.
And it's Hal's mission to reestablish the Corps.
Interesting. So kind of what's happening in the comics now, but just with a twist on it.
Kinda, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds interesting. That sounds like a good pitch for a Earth 1 book, which I know I've said this before. Earth 1 stories in general just seem like really good movie pitches that they had laying around, and they're like, best not let this go to waste.
That's exactly what they... Like, you read all the Superman ones and the Batman ones, they read like a movie pitch that wasn't used.
Yeah, and here's the sequel, and here's everything. Like, they even build, like, sequels to movies or TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
The Teen Titans one, that feels like a TV show. The other ones feel like movies. The Teen Titans one totally felt like a TV show with the extended cast and the characters who weren't what they seem at first. That's like, here's your mid-season, here's your stinger, here's your finale.
Yep.
Yes. Apparently this Wonder Woman one is going to involve Nazis, so apparently we're actually going back in time. We're going to be seeing some World War II stuff.
Okay, cool.
Or maybe
I
not.
guess.
Maybe it's modern day neo-Nazis and Captain Nazi, which is stuff they actually do.
Maybe, yeah.
There's actually some pretty good stories where Wonder Woman fights neo-Nazis who try and like take over Themyscira and make it like New Reich Town. Yeah, they're crazy, them comic book Nazis, I tell ya. The other sequel he had in mind, and this is the one I'm probably the most interested in, a sequel to Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, which I'm sure many people are throwing up their hands and being like, no, why are you messing with perfection? Please don't. It's okay. It's in the Earth 666 continuity, wherein Damian is all grown up in Batman.
yeah, so that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I quite enjoy the weird, crazy Earth 666 dimension that they have, where Damian is Batman in a frickin' trench coat, and everything is all weird and hellish and messed up.
It is. It was a very interesting concept when they did it originally in, like, what was it, Batman issue 666 or something?
Yeah, that was the one, back when Morrison was writing, that was his thing, where it's like, and what happens when Damian grows up?
Yeah, bad shit.
Yeah, bad shit happens when Damian grows up. It's not good. And the Earth 666 universe always keeps showing up, like, in stuff. You always see it in the backgrounds of stuff whenever they go through the multiverse.
Yeah, they like showing that that Damian in that costume.
They do. It's a fun alternate costume. It is. Heck, even in Superman, when they did a blink to the future and we see John and Kate and Damian all grown up, that's what he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good look. It's a good, solid look. We don't know what it's about yet. I also wonder, too, because if I'm not mistaken, in the Earth 666 universe, aren't most of the villains dead?
I'd have to go back and read it, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that it was like his thing. Like, he took care of all the villains that Batman didn't want to.
Yeah, wasn't Damian killing people, and like he was fighting like real losers like Jackanape and shit? Yeah. Could be interesting either way. That's the one I'm interested in. And the sequel train doesn't stop there, because, you know, from beloved crazy Grant Morrison, we have crazy Uncle Frank Miller with a sequel of his own. I'm doing Superman Year 1, 20 years after anyone asked for it.
Yeah, we actually talked about this, I think, last year.
Yeah, I think we did too.
I think about regarding this, or like at New York Comic Con or something, he was spouting shit about it.
He said he had Superman Project in the works. We just didn't know what it was. Now we know what it is.
Yeah, now we know it's something that no one wants.
No one now wants it. Again, if young Frank Miller pitched this like right after Batman Year 1, it would be like, oh, well, obviously, yeah, I mean, you gotta do that.
Yeah, but, you know, Frank Miller now, who just wrote Dark Knight 3, no.
But did he write it, though, Matt? Did he really? It's hard to tell.
I considering how, like, terrible it was, I'm going to say yes.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Frank Miller is a legend of the comic book world. You can't take away his accomplishments, be it Dark Knight Returns, Year 1, his run on Daredevil, all this other stuff. Stands the test of time. Frank Miller now is well past his expiration date as a creative.
Yeah, he should have retired a couple of years ago.
Not only that, but he's also a liability, because you don't know if he's going to open his mouth and say something horrible.
The thing is, he was actually saying, like, good stuff about Superman, and I'm like, okay, what's happened? Who has replaced Frank Miller?
Frank was on his best behavior and on his good meds because he needs to work.
He was on his perks.
Yeah, Frank needs to work is what he needs. Also, too, it's amazing he would want to do this, because from everything he said in interviews, he was being quite passive-aggressive and quite upset about Dark Knight 3. He basically came out and admitted, Brian Azzarello wrote the whole thing. They wouldn't let me do nothing.
Yeah, so who are they going to get to write this?
Yeah, that's the thing. Who are they going to get to write this, or are they really going to trust him to just grab the pen and write himself?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if this actually does end up coming out. And the interesting thing is, though, this is only like a one issue, because it's a 100-page issue.
Oh, okay. So this one can't be delayed and get 20 extra issues and a million variants.
Well, you know, if they see there's interest in it, they'll probably, as I said on Twitter, break it up into 20 issues, and God. You know, each issue will have 50 variants.
It's dark because it's true and believable.
Yeah.
I believe they might just do that. Also, it's like, how many Superman origin stories do we need, really? How many did we get in the last year?
Well, like, why do we need to do it anyway now, especially since they've just, like, kind of rebooted him and said, okay, all of this is canon, because this obviously is going to be like a Elseworlds or something. So what are they going to change exactly that we haven't A, already seen, or B, want to see? Yeah,
what fresh new spin can you put on the first year of Superman? Hell, I think we already basically got a Superman Year 1, only it was Superman Years 1, 2, and 3 in that Superman American Alien from Max Landis.
Exactly. There's nothing he can actually do that would be surprising or unique.
Yeah. I mean, shit, Morrison himself did his first year in Action Comics, and we weren't really crazy about it.
No, no.
We've gotten so many Superman origin stories at this point. Maybe, hey, here's a story for you. What about Superman just gets up in the morning and just does some shit? How about that?
Or so like what, Peter J. Tomasi's doing at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what if Superman just went on, like, a vacation with his family in a camper around America? What about that? That's a story. That's a story right there. What about a story where they get all jacked up on apple pie and patriotism?
Frank Miller would do that, except then he'd have like Superman like spill out into this like highly racist like tirade.
Oh yeah.
About immigrants and stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure Frank Miller would love to do a patriotic Superman story, but I don't think we're ready for his version of it. Again, as we mentioned just a couple weeks ago, this is the man who made the ancient Spartans the good guys and the arbiters of American democracy just because he hated Persians so much.
Yeah, and wrote a story that was for Batman about him killing like terrorists and thinly veiled like Arab people.
Yeah, because Frank Miller, at the age he is now, cannot make the differentiate from just, regular Middle Eastern people and terrorists. To the point where even DC's like, no, a holy terror. Yeah, it is a holy terror. We don't want it. Fine, I'll publish it myself, and I'll make it a really awkward, like, printing so it'll never fit on your bookshelf. So yeah, from the crazy world of crazy Uncle Frank to something I'm sure we can all agree on and all be super positive about, we got some wicked new promo art for Young Justice Season 3.
Yeah, they kind of revealed, I guess, probably like 80% of the cast.
More or less, it's a big cast, although it's funny, from who we have and who's not there, I thought they painted a pretty interesting picture.
Yeah, definitely.
Because remember, my big fear going forward, it's like, okay, Young Justice is coming back. I'm worried, though, now, what concessions will they need to make to bring this back? Is the thing. So, I mean, the team as it stands right now, we have Static Shock, freaking awesome. He's on the team now, rocking a brand new costume, too.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
They've given him a fresh new redesign, and I wonder, because Milestone is coming back and becoming an imprint, Static has to be the, like, forerunner flagship character of that series. Is this what he's going to look like?
You know what? Probably. This looks like a new, fresh comic design.
We have Bart Allen as Kid Flash, or maybe he's still going by Impulse. I don't know. I know he took up Kid Flash to be like an honorary title for Wally, who died/disappeared into the Speed Force in Season 2. Hey, spoiler for those who haven't finished Young Justice yet. That's the final episode. Tim Drake with the hood, or at least I think that's Tim Drake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I think they did confirm that it is Tim Drake. It's not Damian.
Okay, as we could probably might see Damian. Who knows? But yeah, we got Wonder Girl. We got Spoiler, who, man, she got a hell of a promotion from just being a background character in Season 2, who they free from some Krolataeans, to now actually being on the team as Spoiler. Between her and a couple other choices they make, I wonder, was that another concession where they're like, look, we're really trying to push Spoiler as a young hero now, she's got to be on the team? Or is this something like, obviously, between Season 1 and Season 2, there was a massive time jump? Is this just another result of another time jump?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Our boy, Blue Beetle, looking as good as ever. His stock continues to rise. Woman dressed just normally, which there was a lot of confusion over who this character could possibly be. Apparently her name is Tracy, which a lot of people...
Yeah, it's Tracy 13.
Right, who's been in Supergirl recently.
Yeah.
She's a magical character, which made me wonder, where is Zatanna? But then I'm like, oh, well, if Zatanna is as old as Dick Grayson is at this point, she should probably be on the Justice League, shouldn't she? Which I think that's where they're going with it. So she's going to be the magical stand-in. Another thing they talked about for Season 3 of Young Justice is that they were going to have their very first LGBT character. Pretty sure it's Tracy, because Tracy is gay in the comics, right? She's dating Steele's daughter, right?
I think so, yeah.
Alright, there you go. We then have Arrowette, which did my head in completely. I'm like, whoa, wait. So you did Artemis as the, like, sidekick of Green Arrow, which means we never got Mia. But now we're getting Mia in the show. We now have an official Arrowette. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I think Artemis is in the show because there's other art as well that depict the original team with Connor and Artemis and Kid Flash and everything. So maybe she's still in the show.
No, I mean, I know she is. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's funny they have another female archer on the team who is blonde, and it's like, okay, we're finally doing Mia now. Now, here's the thing about Mia. I wonder if they're ever going to tackle this. Mia's origin is she was a child prostitute who contracted HIV from shooting dirty heroin needles.
Well, the thing they did say is that the show's gonna be a little bit more adult because they're going at it as like these kids will be, 17, 18 coming up, so they'll be tackling more adult themes in the show.
I would love it if they did that. That Judd Winnick story where they actually tackle HIV is amazing, and it's amazing because Judd Winnick, like, literally knew a guy with HIV. In fact, they met during, like, MTV's The Real World, and, like, he stayed very good friends with him. He even made a comic about the time they spent together and his untimely young death due to the disease.
It would be definitely very interesting.
It's true. Like, I mean, how many heroes where you can say is like, yes, they are a hero with HIV?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to be a very positive version of her, she's like, yeah, HIV's not the death sentence it's used to be. She's basically the Magic Johnson of superheroes. It's like, look, I'm still doing it. I'm still having fun. I'm still, living with it. I'm a positive role model for this. Arsenal on the team, and it's clearly Arsenal because he's got the, shaved head and the robot arm. Where is good Roy Harper? Where is good Roy Harper?
Maybe he's under the trucker cap. I don't know.
Oh, fuck you, man. Like, again, was this another concession that had to be made to bring the show back? Or it's like, look, so Greg Wiseman, you're basically writing your own fan fiction here where you split the difference between Roy and Arsenal. We don't like that because we've been trying to say for, like, the last decade that there's only one Roy Harper and his name is Arsenal and he's an asshole. So, yeah, we're going to have to fix that. And Beast Boy on the team, although his costume is now much closer to his changeling costume.
Yeah, yep.
Which I like, actually. I wonder, is he going to drop the Beast Boy moniker completely now that he's not a boy anymore? Will he just start going by changeling now?
Maybe.
Yeah. And then, of course, the picture you mentioned there of the older team made up of Dick Grayson, Robin, Artemis, and
Aqualad and Superboy.
Aqualad and Superboy. Let us talk about Aqualad's hair for a second, because this is something they cannot seem to figure out in either version. So, like, TV Aqualad comes first, right? Calderon, he's really popular and really cool. Jeff Johns likes it so much, he creates Jackson Hyde for the comics, who is a character who looks and dresses much like Calderon, whose powers are similar, but he's clearly a different guy. He's got big, long dreadlocks and everything, where Calder is shown to be a blonde. Now, in this, we see Calder is older, and he's got, like, a beard and the short hair. He looks much more like his dad, Black Manta. Is this, again, them trying to bring things closer together and be like, no, Jackson Hyde and Calderon are the same person?
And maybe? I don't know.
Because they only ever call him Calderon in the show. He never takes a surface name. He never takes a people name. And it's weird because it's like in the comic just now in Teen Titans, they make a big point of showing Jackson Hyde dyeing his hair blonde. And I'm like, I'm so confused now. There's so much discontinuity between these two characters who maybe are the same, maybe they're not. But Jackson Hyde is gay and Calderon isn't. It's weird. It's so... I wish they would just split the difference and be like, no, they are definitively two different characters. Now, again, as many people notice that, this older team is not wearing their standard superhero garb. They don't have their logos on or anything. Season 3 is also called Outsiders. Is the older team now the Outsiders? Is that the name they've taken?
Maybe. They're all dressed kind of like ninjas.
They are, which I know in the show they always had, like, stealth modes for their suit. And this is my theory, Matt, and you can tell me if you think this is bullshit or not. Does this team go on like a special important stealth mission for the Justice League? Do they end up getting captured and it's up to the young team to save their older counterparts?
That sounds about right.
Because it's a way to be like, look, we're honoring the Young Justice seasons and characters that came before, but also these characters are too old now to be on Young Justice, but they also can't get upgraded to the Justice League right yet, so they need to be here but not here.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'd be fine with that. I think that would be okay, and have a whole season of like, oh, we gotta find the originals.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be fine with that. But yeah, just in general, it's like, it feels real now. Like, before when they said Young Justice Season 3 was coming, I'm like, that's great news. I won't believe it until I see something.
Yeah.
It's also nice to know the show looks more or less exactly how we remember it.
Yeah, the art style is pretty much the same.
Because that was another fear. It's like, okay, are they going to cheat this up like they're cheaping up excuse me, the DVD animation?
Mm-hmm.
But no, so far it doesn't seem that way.
Nah.
What would you like to see in Young Justice this season, Matt? I know we've pitched these ideas many a times.
I don't know. I like what we were just saying, how they have to like go find the older team, and in doing that they go back through it's kind of like a nostalgia trip back through the previous seasons with like there's villains and all that sort of stuff.
We know Darkseid is going to be playing a part in this, and apparently the whole meta-human arms race from the end of Season 2 will also still be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to look forward to. And much like the Injustice fan base, they're like, and can Red Hood be in it? Put Red Hood in it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just wants to put Red Hood in things.
Yeah, I don't know why, but...
It's like cereal and milk, just add Red Hood. Just add Red Hood to it, he has guns. He has guns and a really red hood. I decided to torture myself, and I actually watched the trailer for Gotham Season 3, and they make a big point of being like... They make a big point of being like, hey, look, Red Hood guys are back. It's even funnier, because like, I have not watched anything of Gotham since like the halfway point of Season 2 when, like, Gordon seemingly kills that guy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. And so to come back here in the trailer for Season 4, it's like, wow, a lot has happened.
Yeah, I haven't watched since that Balloon Man episode.
Oh, wow, that's...
In Season 1.
So
it was like
episode
third
2?
episode or something.
Yeah, it was like episode 1 or 2.
But, someone I know was like, dude, go look at the finale for whatever the recent season that just finished up for it. So I looked at it, and he's like becoming Batman, and I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's
fuck
what they're
off.
doing. It's also like, look, Riddler's the Riddler, and he's got a green suit, and he's like, trying to take over Gotham, and he shoots Penguin, who loves him, off like the pier, which keeps happening to Penguin over and over again. I'm like, they're doing this again. How many times has he been shot and thrown in that pier?
Oh, like every other episode.
And also, look, Catwoman is Catwomaning with a whip, and I'm like, wait, wasn't that the sister of that Galavan guy? She stuck around even after Galavan got rid of Seriously?
Yeah.
I also saw Butch again. I'm like, didn't they kill Butch or brainwash Butch? Or, God, Gotham's a stupid show. Like, even by the standards of ridiculous comic bookiness, I remember watching Gotham for that, like, season and a half and being like, this is too dumb and silly even for me. But hey, in classic Fox things, we'll cancel Firefly, we'll cancel Sarah Connor Chronicles, we'll cancel any actual good show we have, but Gotham can stay on for multiple seasons.
Yes, yeah.
But hey, how about that Krypton now that we're talking about? I didn't even write this down, but now that we're on this thing, how about that Krypton, though, Matt?
I don't know how to feel about this show now.
Because apparently it's a time travel show. Someone from Earth's past, or someone from Earth's future is traveling to Krypton past.
Well, not just that, just like the characters they're deciding to put into the show. Because we're not just getting Kryptonians, we're getting like Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Adam Strange, Brainiac, Doomsday.
Again, much like Gotham, characters that should not be around, nor should they cross paths with anything that's happening at this point in history.
I'm like, what the hell is going on with the show? And of course, this kind of confirms as well that it's not related to the movies, and it's definitely. it's definitely not related to the Supergirl TV show.
So it's just kind of related to nothing floating in nowhere.
Yeah, so again, like this is like the third Superman we're going to be getting.
Yep.
And he'll probably appear. I fucking bet anything, like in like the season finale, like he'll be back on Krypton and he'll like meet his grandfather or something.
Or wouldn't it be some shit like, what is it, Superman's mom? Oh, Jor-El, I'm pregnant. That's your stinger.
Yeah.
I'm pregnant with the one that will be the Superman, probably. That's what she says, because she's read ahead in the script. She knows that's going to happen. Krypton, the show no one asked for, on the network everyone loves, Sify.
Sify.
Sify just really wanted a piece of that superhero show pie. They're like, look, we'll literally take everything. How about a Superman show minus Superman? You want that? Totally.
Yeah, and it's the thing is, it's about something that like literally doesn't even matter to Superman as well. Like in the grand scheme of things, like who cares what happened on Krypton, 50 years ago?
No, and the most important...
It doesn't matter to Earth.
The most important thing about Krypton is it blows up. That's literally, it's like, what? It's like, how is this show going to end? I know they're not going to save Krypton. I know it's not going to blow up.
Yeah, nothing's got to happen.
Superman was literally too young to remember and or care about the loss of Krypton, and so am I. He's like, yeah, I'm sad I lost my home, but I wasn't old enough to miss it, And I'm like, yeah, that's literally everything Krypton is supposed to be.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough to do anything about it, so...
Also, too, you fall into prequel-itis, too, much like Gotham, where it's like, none of these characters will ever die, because they need to be alive for the important shit that happens later.
Exactly, like, we won't get to see, like... I think his name's Seagull die because he needs to meet Jor-El's mother and then give birth to Jor-El and all that sort of stuff. Like, these characters are in no danger whatsoever.
Yeah. And anyone who isn't saved by canon, they're in danger and they're probably going to die.
Yeah.
So, be on the lookout for them. But yeah, that's a little TV talk thing. No, I didn't even put it down, but hey, Flash Season 4. We saw the smallest little smattering for Flash Season 4.
I like in the trailer how, like, I don't know whether this was intentional or not, but, like, they seem to imply that, like, Iris has become, like, the leader of Team Flash, or, like, the one who's controlling, and everything's, like, gone to shit because of it.
Yeah. Hey, at least they're giving her stuff to do instead of the nothing.
That's true. That's true.
It's funny, watching that trailer, I'm like, oh, good. It's like, I still like these characters, maybe they can fix it. But then they, like, do a little too much of a recap on Season 3. I'm like, you're reminding me about all the things I didn't like about Season 3.
That's why I liked the Supergirl trailer. It gave you nothing besides the fact that Adrian Passara is going to be playing Morgan Edge.
Oh, cool.
That's all it gave you. It didn't give you anything else.
I like Morgan Edge. That's a good, deep Superman cut.
Yeah, and Psy's going to be in the show as well.
Oh, right on. Seems like they're pulling a lot of good characters in.
Yeah.
See, that's how you do a Superman show and make it right. You do a Supergirl show instead. Where you just end up pulling in characters like Metallo and Parasite and Lena Luthor and everything else. and occasionally Superman himself.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Which, man, shit, freaking Flash comes back sooner than we think, doesn't it? Comes back in, like, October.
Yeah, so does Supergirl. I think all the shows start back then.
I think if it's anything like last year, I think they come back right around the same time as New York Comic Con. I can remember being on that stupid 11-hour bus ride from hell to New York, being like, oh god, I can't wait to get the Flash when I get there. I'm delirious from riding the bus, and people in Buffalo are very mean. Is what Joel said. Don't worry, this year I'm going to be riding in one of those metal skybirds you hear about. I've been saving my nickels and dimes. I won't be a giant-ass skinflint and be like, no, I'll ride the bus. I'll save the monies. New York's expensive.
Now you can fly in a plane with mean people from Buffalo.
Yeah, with mean people. The same lady who worked at the Tim Hortons is like, sir, what you want, sir? Now she works at baggage claim, sir. What you want with your bags, sir? I'd like to take them, please. Also, I asked for a bagel, and you gave me a bagel. There was no cream cheese. It wasn't even cut open. You literally just threw a bagel in my bag.
You goddamn animal.
I know it's 3 a.m. in Buffalo, and you hate your job, but I'm trying to have a nice time. I'm not cut out for America. Oh, God, I'm laughing so hard the spine of my neck hurts. You know what else is going to hurt, Matt?
What's that?
Apparently Fox is developing a solo Doctor Doom movie. Yeah, let me sum up how I feel in one sound effect. There we go. Did the mic pick up that wet fart noise? Because that's what this movie's going to be. Because, you know, from the studio that fucked up the Fantastic Four twice and is threatening to fuck it up a third time, a Doctor Doom movie no one asked for.
The only, like, kind of good thing about it is that they're getting the guy who did Legion to make it.
See, that hurts more, because if it's good, you'll know they'll only fuck it up later and it will ultimately amount to nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the really painful thing about it, because it's like, what is your end game for making a Doctor Doom movie? If it does really good, what? Are you going to do a sequel where he, like, goes to school and meets Reed Richards, and that's going to be the sequel? You're going to backdoor a Fantastic Four movie through Doctor Doom?
Well, yeah, well, that it kind of just screams them sort of saying, no, we're not going to let Marvel have these characters, so we're just going to make another film, because the rights are coming up, and we need to make another film. I'd be interested to find out when the rights expire again, because aren't they on, like, a certain number of years basis?
4 years.
4 years? Okay, so when was Fan Four Stick?
You and I were still working with the other outfit, so it's been a bit.
2 years, I'll say 2 years.
It's been 2 years, so they're literally halfway there, so they need to show some movement.
Yeah, so expect this movie, like, nothing to happen until, like, the year before, and then they'll suddenly be making one really fast.
Until it gets farted out onto your movie screens. I wonder what will come out first. Will this come out first, or will that proposed Fantastic Four Kids Frank and Valeria movie come out?
That's not happening. That's not happening.
It's even more ridiculous. It's like, hey, Valeria, how'd you get your name? Oh, Dr. Doom gave it to you? No kidding, huh?
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, Dr. Doom has a very fascinating backstory, what with his mother and the Romany and the devil. Which, again, I'm pretty sure you don't got the rights to Mephisto or any of those other characters, so good luck with that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be his backstory. He's going to be, like, a kid who goes to, like, school and meets, like, a young Reed Richards, and, like, while he's at school, Reed, like, becomes the better student, and he gets all angry, and he finds, like, a magic book or something, and uses magic to, like, defeat science or something. So some bullshit like that.
So he's Mandark, is what you're saying. Reed Richards is Dexter, and Doctor Doom is Mandark. And when he couldn't win the science fair, he opens up the book and summons JoJo, the weird gel monster.
And then he'll have Iron Man armor, because that's what's happening in the comics right now.
Right, and they're like, well, we looked at the cover of a book. That's what was happening right now. That's why we did it. I wonder, legally, could they even do that?
Well, like, dress him in an armor.
Yeah, as long as they don't say it's an Iron Man armor, could they get away with that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, they could do it, but everyone would be like, well, this is just Iron Man.
Yeah, shit. It's sad, isn't it? Because you're just going to keep fucking this up every 4 years, aren't you?
I don't know why they don't just say to, like they've seen how Spider-Man is doing for Sony now that Marvel is able to make the movie. Why don't they just go to him and say, hey, we'll still make our X-Men movies, but you can make the Fantastic Four movies, and maybe we can build a bridge there that bridges both universes.
Because that would be too simple, and also, too, I think no one wants to be the guy to admit defeat here, is the deal.
Yeah, I think the Fox people are a bit too proud.
Yeah, no one wants to admit defeat on this one, and also no one wants to be the guy who lets the Fantastic Four get away on their watch.
Yeah.
Because if they do, Marvel's going to turn around and make a huge popular blockbuster out of it, and you're going to look really stupid.
Well, that's the thing. That's why, like Sony's making all the money from that Spider-Man movie. Marvel isn't. Marvel just like wanted to make the movie so he could be in Avengers and everything. They could do the exact same thing. But no, apparently Fox hates money.
Apparently so. Highest grossing solo film in the Marvel franchise to date.
Yeah, Fox hates money. They like just giving the money to Ridley Scott so he can shit out another Alien film.
Gods and robots and stuff.
Gods are robots.
Remember when this franchise was just about aliens who killed people on a space station? Remember that? Those were good times, weren't they? But even this too must pass. But yeah,
yes.
So look forward to Matt and I being very salty about Doctor Doom in the future, if it even gets off the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like we said, in 2 years it has to.
Yeah, pretty much.
In 2 years they're going to kick in the turbos on that one. Man, here's hoping they can have, like, another truly awful one to, like, the awful trifecta, because it's like, wow, those two Fantastic Four movies were easily two of the worst superhero movies of all time ever made.
Oh, so it like breaks the director again, like it did Josh Trank.
Oh yeah, that's right. We never heard from Josh Trank ever again.
Yeah, he went on like a Twitter tirade and then disappeared.
He jumped into whatever cave Alan Moore is hiding out in, and they're just hiding out there together. Or they did it to you too, huh? Hollywood with their black hearts just ate you up and spit you out. Yes, Alan, yes, they said my dogs ruined a house, but it's not true. Oh, God, that was funny, man. His tweet, though, Josh Trank's tweet about that last Fantastic Four movie will live in infamy.
Oh, God, will it ever?
Just shitting on the whole thing and just throwing everyone under the bus. I had a good movie 4 years, or, a couple years ago, and then the studio stepped in.
Yeah, and I believe him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect the dude's honesty, even if he was just, like, straight up committing career suicide.
Yeah, it's integrity.
Yeah. You know what he is? He is the definition of Dave Chappelle's "when keeping it real goes wrong" is what it is.
It is. That one Twitter tweet cost him a Boba Fett film.
Yeah. Josh Trank, age 34, filmmaker, loves his job, gets to work with Marvel superheroes and Star Wars. But what happens when keeping it real goes wrong for Josh Trank? From being at the top to not being heard of in just the span of 140 characters. This is Josh Trank forever showing us when keeping it real goes wrong. But you know it is going to be real, though, Matt, and it's surprising and kind of took everyone by storm. We got to see some concept art for Captain Marvel.
Oh, my God.
Looks really good. I rarely pop for concept art, but I'm like, that's really good concept art.
The concept art, like the costume that they had in there was perfect.
100% comic accurate. Like, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah, she even had her sash.
She even had the sash. That looked great. Like, I would have just been won over by that, but then they went a couple extra steps. They're like, oh yeah, this is actually going to predate Iron Man, the story. It's going to be a 90s period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Jackson's going to be in it, and he's going to have 2 eyes.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy. And, oh yeah, what's this? The Skrulls are going to be the villains.
Not just the Skrulls. We're getting the Kree Skrull War.
Damn, son. Which, again, goes to show the Kree are involved in this. I wonder, does that mean we're going to see the OG Captain Marvel in this movie at some point?
Kevin Feige was he doesn't really know at this point, because they're still writing the script and everything, but he doesn't think that they're going to go that route.
Right, I know some people...
Because it might be a bit too hard to explain.
A little bit. I know some people were kicking around the idea that maybe Captain Marvel already has some sort of latent Kree DNA inside of her that allows her to access her powers, which all I can think is like, so she's Inhuman? Is what you're saying now? Because that sounds like an Inhuman. If it clucks like an Inhuman and it walks like an Inhuman, that's an Inhuman. Which, would only kind of bug me in just as much as I am a comic purist. And it's like, no, Captain Marvel isn't an Inhuman. Kamala Khan is a Miss Marvel and an Inhuman, but not Carol, though.
Yeah, and we're getting Kamala Khan in that TV show, aren't we?
That's right, I think we are.
So again, you're setting it all up so that there's already been a Captain Marvel, so this new Kamala Khan Captain Marvel we're going to see on TV makes sense.
It's really smart to do that, to make this a period piece and be like, oh no, Captain Marvel's been around, she's been doing stuff, and even more so, Skrulls have been around and doing stuff since before Iron Man.
Yeah, and I said on Twitter, like, okay, Skrulls are a thing now in the MCU, so does that mean, like, maybe some people we've seen have been Skrulls?
The Mandarin was a Skrull. There you go. You got a do-over. Anyone they killed who they didn't want to kill and wanted to bring back, yeah, they were a Skrull.
It sets it out. It sets it out.
Did we say that was did we say Obadiah Stane was dead? We meant he was a Skrull. Anyone who died who we really liked was ultimately just a Skrull all along. Quicksilver, actually a Skrull. He can be back now. That wasn't the real me who died. That was the Skrull me. But yeah, I think this is an awesome idea for a movie. I think this is so cool, and even more so, it makes sense now that why Captain Marvel is going to be the buffer between the Infinity Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, it's like, okay, so it's not actually involved.
Yeah, well, it makes me think that maybe there's going to be something in Infinity War that, like, references that, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, what the hell is that? And they're going to say, well, come back and check out Captain Marvel where this is explained.
Again, if it's going to involve everything we think it's going to involve and it's going to be more cosmic, a character will probably mention the Kree-Skrull War in passing.
Yeah, well, people were, like, going back through, because they obviously announced that Nick Fury will be in the film. People were going back through and, like just seeing some of his lines he said in past films, and some of them actually make sense in context now that he's going to be in a Kree-Skrull War film in the 90s as well. Like, he talks about the last person he trusts made him lose an eye. He talks about there's things people don't understand. You're not the first superhero, is what he says to Iron Man, stuff like that.
It's also something, too, we know that S.H.I.E.L.D., because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were keeping a Kree body alive in a bunker.
Yeah. What if that was, like, the one that was in Captain Marvel?
If they actually tie that together, I will say kudos for you for tying the movies and S.H.I.E.L.D. together like that.
We could also have a young Coulson.
That would be cool, a young Clark. That's right, they could put him back in this now, because he wouldn't be dead. Although they'll have to cross that bridge when they get to it too, where it's like, are you ever going to tell the Avengers you're alive?
Yeah, no, well, the thing is, they can put him in Captain Marvel and not have people say, like, well, why doesn't you just go find Steve and all those sort of things? Because those characters don't technically exist now.
That would be so smart to put a young Clark Gregg Coulson in that movie. Like, he's like a junior agent in the 90s.
Yeah, he discovers, Carol or something.
Back in the 90s, I was a junior S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. That's my little BoJack for you there, everybody. But yeah, I think that's so cool. I think this is going to really, much like, I know I'm trying not to be a broken record here and say this every time, but I think Captain Marvel is going to open up the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a big way to, like, a bunch of new avenues.
Oh, it sounds amazing. And we haven't had a movie set in the 90s yet, which means we're going to get, like, cool music like Nirvana and grunge and stuff.
That would be cool. Stone Temple Pilots, you just get it all there in this awesome soundtrack. I fully support all of these endeavors for this movie.
Yeah.
Especially because, yeah, you're right, having a cool soundtrack seems to sort of be the go-to now for superhero movies. You need it.
Oh, well, it's a character on its own.
It is. Like, no one expected Spider-Man to have a cool soundtrack, but it did, and it was wicked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why not Captain Marvel, too? Now, what else did we have here in this big, ever-growing list of topics? Speaking of Marvel movies, Michelle Phifer and Laurence Fishburne have been cast in the Ant-Man sequel as two rather prominent characters.
It kind of surprised me that they cast these two people. They cast a Catwoman and a Perry White.
I know, right? And they already have a Batman. Yo, friggin' DC Warner Brothers, guard your kids, guard your wife, because they casting everybody up in here. Hey, they might be small roles, but still. But yeah, so Michelle Phifer, the former Catwoman, will now be the OG Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. How cool is that?
Oh, perfect.
It really is, and I'm like, yep, like everything about that. Can't wait to see her and Pym start bouncing off each other if we get that chance. They might just be flashbacks, we don't know, although I assume the sequel will involve them going to the microverse to get her back in one way or another.
Yeah, and maybe that's where Bill Foster comes in.
Yes, that's right, Bill Foster, a.k.a. Goliath.
Yeah, so they're kind of going the Goliath route. Maybe he won't suit up, but he'll probably be there to sort of talk about, like, because obviously in Civil War that's the first time we saw Ant-Man change into Giant Man, so they're probably going to be experimenting with that and everything. I think even in the footage they had at Comic-Con, because they've only been filming for like a week on Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they had footage, and they had like footage of Ant-Man like hiding behind a skyscraper as Giant Man and stuff, and cars shrinking down and then growing up underneath another car and flipping it, and all this really cool stuff.
I really liked Ant-Man 1. I'm actually quite excited for Ant-Man 2.
It was really interesting. I liked the way they were doing all the effects and everything. I thought it was really cool.
The fact that it didn't feel like anything else in the Marvel canon as well.
No, it was a heist film.
It was a heist film, and it was more comedy than anything else.
Yeah, and Luis is back, so that's good.
Oh, well, that's all we need. Dude, Luis is one of those characters. You could put Michael Peña's character in the comic tomorrow and no one would complain.
I'd love if, like, they bring back the one-shots, but they're all, like, about Luis, retelling the stories of, like, all the movies. So, like, he retells Iron Man, then Incredible Hulk, but they're all, like completely wrong.
I fully support this endeavor. Yo, so there's, like, this rich guy named, like, Tony Stark, right? And he's, like, a big baller OG, and everyone loves him. But then he gets murked out in the desert, right? Only he weren't really murked, though.
There you go. And I'm sure Michael Pena would be up for it.
Dude, Michael Pena loves a paycheck, and we love it when Michael Pena gets a paycheck. So more power to that. This is going to be really good. Continuing on the trailer bandwagon here, we got not one but two trailers for the Defenders.
Yeah, one was kind of like an advertisement. Like a South Korean advertisement for Netflix with the Defenders with Stan Lee.
That was beautiful. Like, I got actual chills. I got a little misty-eyed. It's Stan Lee driving in a car in New York talking about what makes a hero and what makes them special, and I'm just like, oh my god, Stan, you're touching my heart right now. And he's all old and frail, and you think he's gonna die on every word, but he doesn't.
Yeah, and you get to see all the footage from all the different shows, and then it shows you some Defenders stuff, and then the last shot.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, then we get Punisher.
Yes, where it's funny, Stan Lee's like, and this is what makes a hero, and this is what we strive for. This is the good in the hearts of all men. And then Punisher, don't forget me. To where I'm like, okay, Frank, no one invited you to this uplifting hero party. You're needed at the dour anti-hero party.
Apparently, the Punisher stuff that was shown was actually really good, and they haven't like watered it down at all. That's
good. Well, I mean, Punisher was always going to be a Netflix slam dunk to the point it's like, I can't believe it took you this long.
I know. It's going to be. When's that come out?
Sooner than we think. They had the little logo.
Yeah, so Defenders comes out next month.
Yep. Hard to believe.
So probably November, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
It's just all Marvel all the time. You never have to stop.
Yeah, and then we got like goddamn what's shooting at the moment? Goddamn Luke Cage season 2, and then they announced season 3 of Daredevil, and then season 2 of Iron Fist, and oh god.
We never have to stop, Matt. We never have to stop.
Yeah, they're giving us content that we can use in
true.
These videos.
It's true. When people complain about, like, superhero fatigue and everything, like, oh, can't they just take a year off? Not if I want to eat and make rent, they shouldn't. They should never stop. In fact, there should be more. There should always be more. Never stop stopping is what we need to do. But yeah, the other Defenders trailer, which was much more of a story trailer, dealt a lot with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, her character, I think is named Alexandra.
Right.
And, sort of her goings-on with the Hand, and it appears she's in control of Elektra, who I think we actually found out, like, Elektra's had like sort of a brain reset, and she doesn't know who anyone is,
Right.
and that's how Alexandra's using her as sort of like a weapon.
Yeah. She's the beast of the hand, more or less.
Yeah.
And, she's so powerful, she's taken out whole groups of dudes, and that's why Daredevil has to get a whole team together to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
I will say credit where credit is due. Iron Fist wasn't totally, what's the word? He wasn't totally insufferable in this. He actually works quite well with everyone else's buffers.
Yeah, well, we didn't really see a lot of him except for that, like, I have chi.
Yeah. Oh, do you now? Man, the image that will be forever burned in my mind, and the image I didn't know I really needed until I got it, is haggard-ass Jessica Jones cracking a beer on a subway in between Luke Cage and Daredevil.
That was pretty cool.
Look, it's been a long day. And I'm like, that's my girl, that's Jess, that's my hard-drinking alcoholism isn't funny or cute.
Yeah, and she doesn't offer the beer to anyone else.
Nope, this is mine.
She only has one travel beer.
One travel beer. Hey, it's my road beer. They say, one for the road. That's what they meant. Hey, it's New York. I don't drive. It's fine. It's fine. I can do this and not get in trouble. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much cool shit from that show. We can probably get to see Luke Cage and Danny become friends. We can see the Luke and Jess romance maybe played with a little more.
Mm-hmm, yep.
A lot of good stuff. Matt having to come head-to-head with the Hand, and of course Elektra and all his complicated emotions therein.
Yep, and the Punisher coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Hey, you're not going to do this without me, huh? People didn't expect me to be as popular, but I was.
I really hope he like comes in at the last minute with like a chain gun or like just some big fuck off gun and just like fucks everyone up.
He's got like one of those giant Gatling guns. It's like frickin' Predator, where he's just mowing everything down. And they're like, look, we were going to give you a long-winded speech about how killing is bad, but also thank you for saving us.
Yeah, Dad was like, God damn it, Frank.
But thank you. And also, come watch my show. Then he leaves. It's a pretty fucking good lead-in for my show. That's Punisher's new amazing power. He actually knows he's in a TV show. He's gifted with the power of self-awareness. But yeah, that looks really cool. We'll definitely be talking about Defenders very soon, because again, it just comes out next month.
I think it comes out in 2 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks, maybe 3.
So
it comes out on a Friday, I know that.
That's so hard to believe. It's like, oh yeah, and also friggin' Defenders is happening before you know it.
Yeah, jeez.
Alright, so again, moving on from the TV stuff, we got more movie stuff to cover. We saved the big 2 for last here, or maybe 3, because I also put a jokey one here at the end of it, but we got the Justice League trailer, plus a whole bunch of other news from the DC panel, including Flashpoint, and maybe Ben Affleck is fed up.
Yeah, a lot goddamn happened around DC this San Diego Comic-Con.
The trailer looked fine. It looked good. But all the DC trailers looked good. In many cases, they were better than the movies they were attached to. DC Warner Brothers does not get the benefit of the doubt.
No, well, the problem is, like, the trailers, like, these first 2 trailers I'm not going to pay too much attention to because, we have a new director on the film, so they might not be indicative of his vision.
That footage they showed us, what cut of the movie is that from, now that we know it's undergone some rather substantial reshapings?
Yeah, are those scenes that are actually going to be in the movie, or are those scenes that are going to be reshot?
That's true. We don't know. We really don't. Again, I'm going to assume, this is the theory I'm working under, I'm basing this on nothing. They had the big action bits done. That's what, Snyder did. That's what Snyder does. All the action stuff will stay. It's the character stuff and the connective tissue that will be different.
Possibly, but in saying that, the character stuff could also affect the action stuff.
That is true.
Like a character could, like, Batman say, I'm not killing her anymore, and then it cuts to a scene of him, like, murdering a bunch of people or something.
Just murdering a bus full of puppies because they looked at him wrong.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know what they're going to be doing with these reshoots. These reshoots have been going on for, like, 3 months. It's not Not as Ray Fisher said, small.
Yeah. Oh no, everyone. They're just small reshoots. Then why is it taking so long?
Yeah. Why are they rebuilding sets?
Yeah, I think someone is not telling us the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm sure you noticed this as well. Man, did they sure give Wonder Woman preferential treatment in this trailer. They open with her, they show a bunch of stuff with her, they show that the Amazons are involved.
It's almost like she had a mildly successful film.
It's almost like people actually liked that one, and you want to remind people of things they like. Hey people, you like that Wonder Woman, right? Well, don't worry, she's going to be in this, and if you want to see what happened next with her and the Amazons, you should really see this movie.
The thing I did like in the trailer is like some of Barry Allen's stuff.
Yeah, he was funny.
Like that thing where they all disappeared on the rooftop behind Gordon, and he's just still standing there. He's like, oh, that's rude.
They really do that, huh? I mean,
it's kind of meta.
It is. J.K. Simmons looks good as Gordon. Again, don't know how much of the movie he's going to be in. I imagine that's his scene right there.
Yeah, again, don't know why he ended up getting jacked for it.
I know, right? It's like, dude, you know you're going to wear a trench coat, right? You know the trench coat covers, like, everything. Like, you could actually come in with a beer belly and it'd be fine. Why you got ripped is beyond me. Unless, as I mentioned, when Parademons start attacking, Gordon's like, this is a job for me, and he rips off his shirt and he just starts punching everything.
Yeah, maybe that was the person Alfred was talking to at the end of the trailer. Like, he rips off his shirt, he's like Master Roshi.
Oh, yes, just like that. And now I'm going to show you the Kamehameha wave. It's a secret technique passed down the Gordon family line. And then Batman, I'll teach you how to go Kaioken times 10. Because I'm good like that. Also, it's funny, too, where it's like, yeah, Justice League, all your favorite heroes together, minus Superman. All your favorite heroes fighting the good fight, minus Superman.
I really love that they're, like, trying to convince people that Superman is dead. I love, like, all the marketing and everything, because, like, one will slip through and they'll release like a standee in like a cinema that has Superman on it, and they'll be like, "Oh, don't pay attention to that.
No.
Look at this poster that doesn't have Superman in it."
No one in their right mind, no one under the age of 6 actually believes that Superman is not going to be in this.
Yeah, and he's the one Alfred was talking to at the end, because you can see a red cape in the corner of the screen.
No, fucking obviously. I mean, what else would it be? I mean, it's not Justice League without him.
No.
Although, man, now that we're talking about Superman, we gotta talk about this. Man, do you gotta love the revisionist history they're laying down about Superman. He was a beacon of hope. He made everyone better. He was my best friend. When the fuck did any of that happen? I watched the other 2 movies.
Loads of people were calling them out on that on Twitter. They were like saying, when did all this... Did we, like, miss a movie? Like, he was a giant prick in both those movies. Like, why is he a shining beacon of hope?
I'm pretty sure he killed warlords, broke necks, made everyone in the city terrified of him. But, yeah. But Joel, he saved those oil worker guys. Yeah, and he looked horribly pissed about it the whole time. Every time he had to save someone, it looked like he was holding in the biggest dump of all time.
I know. He looked like it was taking time out of his busy schedule where he would sit on the couch, shirtless, and get mad at CNN or something.
You see, this is the thing about Superman. All the important things with Superman happen in between movies. You gotta understand. Falling in love with Lois Lane, moving in with him, happens in between movies. Becoming a shining beacon of hope to the point they build a statue happened in between movies.
Yeah, that's why I hope what happens apparently in the Flash film actually happens.
Yeah, so the other thing is apparently the Flash movie, when we get it, is going to be called Flashpoint, where it's like, what?
What? Oh, yeah. Just getting past all the things of Flashpoint being the first ever Flash film ever made and all that sort of shit, and you have to build up for it and everything, 75 plus years of history and all that. Hopefully this means that there's going to be a reset.
Yeah, I mean, why would you call it Flashpoint if this was not your attempt to soft reboot? Unless you're so dense where it's like, well, people like the word Flashpoint, right? They liked it on TV, they liked it in animated movies. Let's just take it not knowing what it means.
Yeah, and what's the bet, like, if it is like the actual Flashpoint comic and, it's about Thrawn killing Flash's parents and then he going back in time and everything, what if they say, oh, we don't need any of that because people will know it from the TV show?
Ugh.
What if they do that, like abusing the TV show like that?
That would be some shit where it's like, oh, so you're expecting the TV show to, like, educate people, but you're also not going to cast Grant Gustin?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to cast some different actor who plays the character completely different.
Which, again, to Ezra Miller's credit, he was funny. He actually looks like he's having a good time, which puts him above most of the other actors in the cast. But still, is not the time for Flashpoint unless you're actually being serious and this is your attempt to retcon shit, which is believable now because the other big news around DC and Warner Brothers this time is that apparently they already have contingencies in place for should Ben Affleck back out.
This one, once they, like, before that I was kind of like, maybe I could see it, but then they announced Flashpoint and I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely, this is their thing, that if Ben Affleck doesn't work out or something, or like, this is their out, to cast a younger Batman, to have Batman stories that took place in that 20 years.
They've got him for Justice League. They've got him for the solo Batman movie, which I'm sure they've already filmed, or he's already he's in it. So they've got him for that. But he said something quite interesting on the panel where he's like, "Oh, don't worry, they're not going to force me out of this." And I'm like, that still doesn't mean you're not going. You're just saying they're not going to force you out of it. That says you're going to leave under your own power when you leave.
Well, the funny thing is, like, he came out and addressed that. And good on him for doing that. But also, like, people are like, "Oh, that means that rumor was fake." I'm like, I'm sure he's going to come out onto a stage of a movie he's presenting,
trying to sell,
to say, I'm not going to be Batman after this. He's not going to do that.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do that. But even still, wow, it's. I know you and I joked about this before. It's like, guys, if you can't even keep your Batman happy, and if you can't even keep him involved, just start over.
And yeah, it looks like they're doing it now. Just disregard all the history that goes in with Flashpoint and everything. It looks like they're trying to do a reset.
It's like, look, Wonder Woman happened definitely because you people liked that. Everything else is up in the air.
You know what I think? Why they want to do Flashpoint?
Why?
Because when Batman v Superman came out, and we saw, like, the Wayne's death, and it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan and that other woman from Walking Dead. Like, heaps of shit was coming out about them being the Flashpoint versions.
Right. Oh, that would
cool. Yeah, I want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan play Flashpoint Batman. What if that's like, because DC are reactionary.
Oh, of course.
So, the fans want that. We'll make a Flashpoint film now and have, Batman use guns, because that's different.
I actually really kind of want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan
as
crazy
I do as well.
Batman.
I do as well, but it's too soon.
It is too soon. You have to earn that. You have to work up to it. You just can't have it because you want it.
Yeah.
Although that would be pretty fucking funny. Also, too, there's talk of, like, apparently they're running ahead on a Nightwing movie now. Is this their way, too, to being like, oh, and Bruce retired or died or whatever, and Dick Grayson became the new Batman. Yay!
Yeah. This is the backdoor pilot to that.
We hope you like him, because he's going to be Batman now. And again, this is all hypothetical. This is all up in the air. But I'm willing to believe it, because, like, Ben Affleck before Batman, two-time Oscar winner, getting a lot of good buzz for his writing and directing. He basically rebirthed his entire career. Post-Batman, I gotta go to rehab for drinking, and my movies are getting really bad reviews, and the other movie I was working on, Live by Night, got savaged by critics and everything, and fuck.
Yeah, and that movie actually cost Warner Brothers a lot, because he didn't pay for it. They paid for it all.
Yep.
They just gave him the money to do it, and it flopped hard, apparently.
Yeah, it sure did. I feel bad for him. I really do. And it's like, I'm sure he knows what even we as fans just looking in know, and that is they need him as Batman way more than he needs to be Batman. Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to back out, I would not be surprised. And some people are like, well, he can't back out. He's under contract. He signed a huge contract. You can get out of contracts. You just have to pay through the nose to do it.
Yeah, and if it's something that he really wants to get out of to go focus on directing or whatever, he would do that.
It's like the famous case is, when Conan when he was a Simpsons writer, but they wanted him to host his show, they paid through the nose to get him out of his Simpsons contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
it can happen. It can happen.
Famously, it has. I mean, Ben Affleck's freaking loaded anyway, so I would not be shocked at all if he was willing to pay just to not have to be Batman anymore.
Yeah.
Which, goddamn, that makes you sad. Where it's like, really, I assume being Batman would be the greatest job in the world. It didn't bring you joy and happiness. It turned you to the drink and ruined all your other projects.
Well, you know, probably had something to do with Zack Snyder and his vision for Batman kind of being different. You know, I heard something, I don't know whether it's true or not, but it sounds like something that is true for Zack Snyder. Apparently, like, whenever him or Henry Cavill would have some difference about the character on the set of Man of Steel, they wouldn't talk it out. They would do push-ups until one gave up, and the one who gave up had to give in to the other's reasoning.
Wow.
And I'm like, that doesn't really sound true, but it sounds true for Zack Snyder.
It sounds insane, but it also sounds just true enough.
Yeah, and that could probably, and like, the guy's a beast, so that's probably why he was able to like get what he wanted out of the character.
That's literally one step above, well, we both feel strongly about this issue, Matt, but I tell you what, I'll wrestle you for it, and if you pin me, you get to host the show this week.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I really don't want to have to wrestle you again, so I mean, I guess I'll just give you your way, if you're just challenging people to wrestling matches. But yeah, so that's your taste of Justice League. Again, who knows? Like, I really don't know about this, because apparently the movie they started with, the movie they have, and the movie that's being reshot right now could be worlds different.
That's why I'll only pay attention to the final trailer.
Right.
That's the only trailer I'm going to be paying attention to.
Yeah. I mean, definitely keep our eyes on this one moving forward, because the thing about Justice League is no one knows anything.
Mm-hmm. Even the writers and directors and everything.
No one knows anything. Tell me about it. So from there, our second to last piece of news, Thor Ragnarok. We got the second trailer for that.
Yeah, trailer and poster.
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
Oh, the choice of music they use for these trailers.
Yeah, someone in the music department deserves a cookie. They were definitely putting in work on this one.
Yeah, the funny thing is the soundtrack they use for the trailer is a song from Hotline Miami too.
Oh, I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Man, I hope the Hotline Miami composer got a nice little stipends for that.
I don't think it's by him. I think it's like a piece of music that from a band or something. Or someone posted it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a pretty cool song.
Someone's got excellent taste. We didn't really learn anything all too new about this trailer that we didn't already know. Hela takes over Asgard. Thor gets lost in Guardian space.
Mm-hmm.
We see some stuff with Valkyrie. The big takeaway that everyone, of course, was talking about is, hey, Hulk talks.
Yeah, so on the panel they said that like Hulk has been like Hulk for 2 years. Like he hasn't gone back to Banner for 2 years.
Makes sense.
So he basically has the speaking capability maybe of like a 2-year-old.
Which that's actually a pretty good justification for it's like, well, why didn't Hulk talk up until this point? Oh, because he was only Hulked out for moments at a time. He never had to do anything more than roar and say smash.
Yeah, this time he doesn't want to come back to Banner.
Yeah,
because of the baggage he had. So yeah,
it's escaping into it with another personality. I like the voice and the cadence they give Hulk when he does talk.
I wonder who's voicing it, because it's not Lou Ferrigno.
No.
Because Lou Ferrigno did the voice in Avengers, Incredible Hulk, and I think Age of Ultron.
Right. Is it Freddie Tatasciore? Freddie Tatasciore does the Hulk and literally everything else.
It might be Mark Ruffalo. He might have did the voice and they might have like dropped it and played around with it in post and whatnot.
It's a good voice. I like it. You know, they have the whole bit about being like, I'm like a raging fire. You're like, a smaller fire. Then they fight fucking Sutar.
Surtur, voiced by Clancy Brown.
Excellent. Okay, you get another gold star for excellent casting.
Yeah, mocapped by the director as well.
Really? That's
who's voicing his own character, Korg.
That's the What We Do in the Shadows guy, right?
Yeah, Taika Waititi.
Right. I see that movie was on Netflix. I meant to watch it for years. I watched it last night.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
It's very funny. Jeremy Clement is great. It's just a smart idea for a comedy. It's also like one of those things where it's like, oh, I can see you guys improv like 90% of this.
Oh, I'm sure they did. His other more recent movie, A Hunt for the Wilder People, was hilarious as well.
Okay, I'll add that to my watch list. But yeah, he's one of those guys where it's like, wow, you are a unique talent.
Yeah, and Marvel were lucky to get him.
Yeah, which I think that goes to show why this one looks so interesting and why this one looks so, different from not even just the other two Thor movies, but just like every Marvel movie in general. He weirdly is the perfect person for this Jack Kirby-esque thing they're going for here.
Oh, they're going full on Jack Kirby, which is funny because, like, obviously in Justice League, Steppenwolf is kind of like a Jack Kirby creation, and he looks nothing like a Jack Kirby creation.
Yeah, he's
whereas, like,
here in Thor,
we've got all these weird creatures and designs of armor that is like completely Kirby-esque.
Oh, absolutely. It's a love letter to the man's art. Like, I never thought you would actually be able to render that in real life. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Steppenwolf there, Matt. The fact that we didn't bother to mention Steppenwolf at all when we talked about Justice League, I think speaks volumes to the staying power of Steppenwolf as a villain.
It looks like they reused the Ares models from Wonder Woman, like literally.
He looks exactly like Ares, and that's really disappointing.
Yeah, he has an axe, and I think Ares had a sword. Yeah. That's like the difference.
I mean, why even do weird New Gods characters if you're not gonna make them weird and amazing?
Look different to whatever else you've been doing.
Yeah, why are you just gonna have guy in armor number 34 who breaks the earth and does weird shit? Also, as a comic fan, it's like, really, Steppenwolf? Really? Come on. For the Justice League? Really? Come on. And the fact, too, that it's like, no, but he's basically just like Raditz. He's just like the first one who they send and be like, oh, if you think I was strong, wait until you see Darkseid who's coming in 2 years. You'll see how strong he is. But yeah, Ragnarok. Ragnarok looks really friggin' cool. And Fenris the Wolf is there, too. Wasn't expecting that, but then again, the movie's called Ragnarok, so...
Yeah, that looked really cool. And we get to see Carl Urban as... Scourge with his 2 guns, and he's going to get into that really cool panel that we've seen in the comics where he just murders a bunch of people.
Yeah, I really like they got Urban on board as Scourge. I'm like, man, don't kill Urban as Scourge. I want him to keep coming back and shit.
I was surprised about how many people actually didn't know that. Like, when they saw the trailer, like holy crap, Carl Urban's in this film?
I know. Again, because they do such a good job, like we said, making them disappear into the role. It's like, oh yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah. I guess Taiko was able to get him because he's New Zealander as well, so he just, like, went next door to the next-door neighbor's house and said, hey, Kyle, you want to be in my movie?
Because, as we all know, New Zealand is a very, very tiny place.
Yes, very.
There's maybe only 90 vampires in all of New Zealand.
Yeah, and a couple of hobbits.
Yeah, a couple of hobbits there, too. I wonder, because obviously Chris Hemsworth is Australian. You know, he's an Aussie and he's taking orders from a Kiwi. I wonder if that led to a lot of trouble on set. I wonder if things got rough at some point.
Probably.
Ah, fuck you, you damn Kiwi. I ain't gonna take orders from you. Come over here and say that to me, you damn Aussie. Be like having a Greek and Macedonian guy work together.
Oh.
This is gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough. But yeah, I mean, what else can you really say about Thor Ragnarok? I think it could. I mean, it's already shaping up to be the best one of the series.
Definitely. The other two can't even compare to it. And it's even funny because the director said, like, he approached the film like those two films don't actually exist, and this is like kind of like the first time you've seen Thor.
Yeah, and I quite like the first Thor, but I know that makes me a weird outsider. It's nice to see they're almost soft rebooting Thor in a weird way, where it's like, nah, treat this like this is the first one.
Yeah, I like the first Thor as well. It was more Shakespearean, but
very much so. It was sword and sorcery. It's the closest to a great He-Man movie you'll ever get. Think about it. It's basically a goddamn He-Man movie. Is that everything, Matt? I had one last thing here about Todd McFarlane finally getting up off his ass and trying to make a Spawn movie, but yet again, file that in the "this might not happen" category.
Did we want to talk about Infinity War?
Oh yeah, okay. So this is weird. So like the trailers have leaked Like, people obviously have their camera phones and everything. It's not out officially, but we did see some stuff from it because it's hard not to see it on the internet.
Did you see the posters?
Yes, the posters were cool, but do go in greater detail. I may have glimpsed them a little bit. I was waiting for the trailer.
We got 3 posters that are all interconnected, and they show pretty much all the characters that are going to be involved with the thing. We got Captain America in a beard.
Yes, that's right. He's also ripped off all the logos from his shit. He's going nomad, essentially.
It's the U.S. Avenger costume.
Ah.
Basically,
or
pretty
US
much.
Agent.
Yeah, U.S. Agent, basically.
Is it black, or is it still blue?
It's black.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That means
there's unused concept. It's based on unused concept art from Civil War that he was going to have right at the end when he appeared right at the end of the film.
Oh, no shit. I guess that means when he's done with that costume, he can give it to someone else and they can be the new U.S. agent. Is usually how it goes.
But yeah, the poster looks really cool. We got a glimpse of all the characters, all the Guardians, Thor, Hulk, all those. Bucky has his arm back and it doesn't have a red star on it.
Casual Thanos.
Yeah, they actually have a reason for why he's dressed like that.
Really? What was it?
Yeah, so he doesn't wear his Warlord armor anymore because it's basically useless now that he has the gauntlet.
Yeah,
like he doesn't need armor anymore because he has this gauntlet that protects him.
Solid enough reasoning. Why am I going to wear all this bulky ass armor when I'm already super powerful?
Exactly, but yeah, the trailer was pretty awesome.
Yeah, again, we saw it at a weird fucked up angle because I know that's what all the screenshots were coming out at.
Yeah, well, I think like more recently they found one that was a little bit tilted down, so you got kind of the whole thing, but you got a general idea of what was happening, and it's pretty crazy. Spider-Man in his Iron Spider costume, Doctor Strange all hanging out together. Yeah, Doctor Strange helping Star-Lord. Yeah, interesting. There's a hell of a team up. Yeah, the Guardians meeting Thor. Which makes sense, because it's like, well, if Thor is still out in space by the time all this is said and done. Yeah, it could definitely go that way. But yeah, I mean, just lots of really cool shit at San Diego Comic-Con 2017. Lots of stuff to talk about. Oh, God, yeah. And I imagine we'll probably be getting a little bit more, because it's still going on, is it? It is. I think it's still, well, again, because the time is off. It's like 11 here, but it's still earlier in LA where they're doing this, or San Diego. Yeah, I know they at least got like one more day, but I don't think there's anything really too big. No, and probably more comic stuff or something. That'd be nice, and they'll probably drop the Avengers trailer officially at some point. I don't think they will be. I think they'll wait until Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, you could be right. Usually they like to get out in front of that and be like, hey, don't watch this shitty cut, this shitty, bootleg, watch the real proper one. Yeah, they probably do that. I hope they don't, mainly because it'll piss off all the people who are demanding they release the trailer. Yeah, that too. And I don't really want them to cave into demands of spoiled people on the internet. Yeah, it's true, fair enough. So, I mean, any closing thoughts here on this one, Matt? We've had an entire full episode as I thought we were going to. Yeah, no, lots and lots of good news. I'm sure we probably missed something. We couldn't cover everything. We could have talked about more TV shit. We could have talked about Bright, that Will Smith movie. We could have talked about Westworld. Yeah, we could have talked about all that, but yeah, it's way too much. We'd be here all day. We'd be here all day and all night. But thank you, everyone, for listening to this San Diego Comic-Con 2017 special. We hope you enjoyed listening to us as much as we enjoyed talking. As always, down in the comments section, tell us what you thought. What was your favorite piece of news from San Diego Comic-Con this year? What do you really want to see? What are you waiting on super hard for? If you're a patron, of course, you can listen to this episode first before anyone else. That's usually Sunday night around midnight. By the time it takes me to render it up and put it all up for everyone, you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. You'd be helping me and Matt out. Thank you, everyone who's been going over to the TeePublic store and buying shirts. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. Matt and I think we got to fire up some new designs, Matt. People are actually buying this shit. I'm looking at some new designs. I'm probably going to do some those classic kind of shirts that podcasts had with the podcast name in different fonts from pop culture or something. So a couple of easy ones like that. And I've got some slightly more harder ones to make as well in mind.
That's a good one. Also, go back a couple episodes where we asked people for their favorite comic multiverse quote. Grab some quotes, make some quote shirts. I was trying to make one today where it was like a biker club rocker, but it would be like Cape Joel Club I was trying to make. But I'm shitty at Photoshop, so it's hard, so I might just, outsource the project to you at some point, as I always do when it comes to Photoshop. This is hard. I'm making an idiot of myself on Photoshop. Do it for me, please. Matt comes, pat me on the head. Don't worry, Joel. I'll make it all better. But yes, thank you everyone for listening. Of course, be sure to follow Matt and myself on Twitter so you're always up to date on what's happening. Matt over at MOS _
FOS.
yeah, that's right. Fortress of Solitude. Why do I always have... See, I'm always doing it like Man of Steel. You know, Matt of Steel. Yeah, that's your name, right? Matt of Steel.
I had thought about that and I'm like, yeah, that's too on the nose.
No, it's a little... It's same like Mad Matt, because he's from Australia. It's too on the nose.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's probably someone out there like that.
Oh, there's gotta be. But yeah, be sure to follow him over there. Be sure to follow me at Cape Joel. And yeah, this is basically it, everyone. I got nothing else to say. Matt, you got anything else to say?
Nah, not really. Go follow us on all our social media.
Yeah, please do. So yeah, until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
See ya.